Alright, so I blew out the inside, cleaned it up. What I want to do though is I read online about the dial lamp modification to keep the dial lamps on. So if you're not familiar with Sansui's 5000s, 4000s, 7000s, I'm pretty sure the 5000 does it. When you go to phono or auxiliary, all of the dial lamps go out. So there's supposedly a modification on the 4000 that will prevent that from happening. And the modification is and I'm not seeing the proper color. Oh, there it is. So on this front wafer, see if I can zoom in here. What is supposed to happen on this front wafer, on the selector switch, is, and you can't really see it. It's going to be really hard to get to. But there's this green wire. Online it said at the 1 o'clock position. It's kind of sort of at the 1 o'clock position. And then there is a white wire that's buried underneath this orange wire in the 3-ish o'clock position. And what the instructions online say to do is just jump that. So jump it from this green wire to the white wire. So I'm going to try that, and we're going to see how it works. Hopefully sparks don't fly. So what I'm going to do is cut a little piece of wire and attach that. Now I read that at least one post, Audio Karma is down there doing maintenance, so I was going to check it this morning, but they're down. Someone had said that when they did this, they lost their stereo indicator lamp, but I don't see how that would be related. So I'm just kind of curious to see, number one, if it works without destroying something, and then number two, if there is any type of issue, any type of issue with the stereo beacon. So my battery's running low in the camera again. I got to get a different camera if I continue making videos. Kind of at a crossroads with making these, because it's really getting to the point where I'm too busy and the videos really take up a lot of time. So I may just stop trying to shoot as many as I'm doing and slow down and maybe do some more focused videos on, maybe full restorations or something like that, or maybe just some basic tasks, or I don't know. But yeah, this can very easily turn into something that is quite the drain on your time. So anyway, to save battery, I'm gonna click away while my soldering iron heats up. I'm going to fart around doing some other stuff, and then I will come back. And if this is successful, what I'm going to do is place this back into the cabinet. I cleaned off the cabinet, and the cabinet is almost perfect. There's one little area where the veneer is chipped on the front. At least that's what I saw last night. So assuming this goes well, I will put this back into the cabinet and then kind of show you the after, right? The after cleanup. So yeah, give me a couple minutes. All right, rather than... I'm changing direction as I am known to do. So rather than show you the after, I want to show you kind of how this is going to work. So just to confirm that, right, if I turn it on, see only the auxiliary light is on. So if I take the wire and I jump it, which I'm going to do, you're going to see all of the dial lamps come on. So I'm going to very carefully jump this. So see the lights come on? So now, regardless of the input selected, right? The dial lights will remain on. So that's the modification I'm doing. That's jumping from that green wire at the 1 o'clock position on the first wafer of the selector switch, right? Jumping from the green wire at 1 o'clock to the white wire at 3-ish o'clock. So I'm going to finish this up, put this back in the case, show you the after, and this cleaned up really, really, really nice. Sounds really, really, really good. Yeah, so let me get on this and then put this thing back together and show you what it looks like. So here is the cleaned up Sansui 4000 with the dial modification. Sorry, I had to adjust my camera there. With the dial modification, dial lamp modification. Notice how I did not lose stereo. Stereo light is not was not affected by the modification. So the dial lights stay on for all inputs, which is really nice. I don't like it when the dial goes dark and all you see are the little indicators, because I have a 7000 I've left on before, because when you're standing up and you can't, see whatever light is on, you don't know to turn it off, or sometimes you forget. So this receiver, man, it is, I know it looked like crap when I got it, but this thing cleaned up really nice. There's not even a blemish on the cabinet, except for one little spot here where the veneer is missing. So, but I mean, it is spotless, super clean, got all the grime and dirt and dust out of it. And these receivers are special, right? So there is a group of receivers that, if you go to Audio Karma and you do a search for, like, what's in terms of bang for the buck, or receivers that kind of outpunch their weight, right? There are 4 or 5 or 6 receivers. You can go to the various manufacturers and you can find receivers that have kind of a following, right? So the Sansui 4000, a lot of enthusiasts, like Sansui enthusiasts, really, really think that in terms of what you get for the... So here is the cleaned up Sansui 4000 with the dial modification. Sorry, I had to adjust my camera there. With the dial modification, dial lamp modification. Notice how I did not lose stereo. Stereo light is not was not affected by the modification. So the dial lights stay on for all inputs, which is really nice. I don't like it when the dial goes dark and all you see are the little indicators, because I have a 7000 I've left on before, because when you're standing up and you can't, see whatever light is on, you don't know to turn it off, or sometimes you forget. So this receiver, man, it is, I know it looked like crap when I got it, but this thing cleaned up really nice. There's not even a blemish on the cabinet, except for one little spot here where the veneer is missing. So, but I mean, it is spotless, super clean, got all the grime and dirt and dust out of it. And these receivers are special, right? So there is a group of receivers that, if you go to Audio Karma and you do a search for, like, what's in terms of bang for the buck, or receivers that kind of outpunch their weight, right? There are 4 or 5 or 6 receivers. You can go to the various manufacturers and you can find receivers that have kind of a following, right? So the Sansui 4000, a lot of enthusiasts, like Sansui enthusiasts, really, really think that in terms of what you get for the price point, the Sansui 4000 is one of those really special receivers. Some other receivers that come to mind that kind of have the same following, and this is not an all-inclusive list, but Pioneer SX 737, like what you get for the money is it's a really outstanding receiver. The Sony STR 6050. Some people will say the 6060. I have a 6050, so I'm kind of partial to saying that one is better, because I haven't touched the 6060 and I don't like the aesthetics of that one. But the Sony STR 6050 or 6060F, right? Just again, what you get for the price is outstanding. And then Marantz 2230. Marantz 2230s are, you know, again, if you're looking at, you know, not spending a lot of money but getting a great receiver, the Marantz 2230 is another one. And they're all kind of that mid-range in terms of power, 30 watts per channel, 40 watts per channel, maybe 50 watts per channel. I might add the Pioneer SX1000 is another one that's really, really great. It's a little bit older. It's the same vintage as this, you know, late 60s, early 70s, like 69 to 71, something like that. But this is a really, 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 really nice looking receiver now. And this thing was an absolute wreck, right? So I'm going to enjoy this for a little bit before it goes to the shop. I do have another Sansui 4000. So I changed my mind on a recap on this, and I didn't cover everything that I did because I have another Sansui 4000 that is more than likely going to require some significant work. So I'm going to save any recap footage or alignment procedures until I get into this one and work on it, which may be a little bit. Right, so again, and this one is mine, so I have no problem diving into this one and spending a little bit more time and money. This one is not, so, you know, as always when you're working on something for someone else, it's, you know, it's on their dime. So if they don't want to recap it, if they don't want to do, you know, A, B, or C to it, then I'm not just going to do it, right? So I'm going to respect their wishes. So anyway, beautiful Sansui 4000. I'm glad I was able to get it cleaned up and save it from, you know, from what I remember when we got this from the owner whose father had passed. You know, the gear that his father had was, you know, probably a couple of days away from going to a dumpster. So I'm glad I was able to clean this up and give it a second chance. So anyway, as always, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.